I'm Ted Keys in Pasadena, California. Welcome to my Tuesday conference call, a high-powered meeting I hold live every Tuesday for top-producing freight agents. Go to tedkeysonline.com for complete call information. Then join us weekly to see serious, new, struggling, and experienced sales professionals move more freight efficiently, effectively, effortlessly, and make more money financially. So watch my Tuesday conference call highlighted there on your screen right now. Then go to tedkeysonline.com to hear more podcasts, read more blog posts, watch more videos, and visit my Freight Sales Success Store for top-notch products to explode your business today. Enjoy watching and applying my Tuesday conference call.
Main question I'm going to pose today before I get into my topics, guys, is anyone sensing that there are like no trucks to be found right now?
Absolutely. Oh my God. I got loads like you wouldn't believe.
Shall I take that as a yes, Tom?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Anybody else feeling the same feeling that Tom is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. Greg
Okay.
is.
Okay, so yes to everything else. So basically, my first point I'm making is it's not just us. Okay, it's not just me. Where carriers are not calling on my loads. It's everybody. Unfortunately, December, I will say this, is typically a slow month. I will say this again. It's not a slow month in areas where there is a lot of woods, like Northwest, Oregon, Washington, Virginia, through the Appalachians. A lot of products come out of those types of areas this time of year. So if you've got a lot of customers that are on the plains, I will say this: if you got customers in the upper Northwest, those products are moving as well. There's a lot of farm commodities going on in the wintertime. But that's going to move. That's going to digress right into my topic of conversation today, and that is: are you asking the right questions to your prospects, to your customers? Now, as you know, I've sent everybody out an announcement for our conference call today. Just go to either one of those announcements, and we're going to go over these attachments one by one. But are you asking the right questions? Now, we're going to talk about asking the right questions today, but we're also going to talk about what to do when we encounter a down period or a down cycle like we are right now. So are you asking the right questions? Let's go to our attachments, guys, and I'm not going to go to the leaderboard because that's all for you to watch and enjoy. Congratulations to all you leaders out there. But let's delve into the second topic right away. Now, as you all know, I probably go over this. Not probably. I go over this document about once a month. Why? Because it is our recipe. It's your recipe for success. If you're stalling around a little bit, wondering where all the truck's at, well, it's because you're not making contact with your 3 new prospects every day. If you were, you would have loading in a lot of these areas that I just mentioned. A lot of winter products, a lot of farm commodities moving right now. However, recipe for success. What is our recipe for success? In a nutshell, obtain 3 new emails a day and phone numbers a day, or 15 new emails or phone numbers a week. Now, you've all heard this. Why? Because I go over it frequently, because it's so important that you continue to add to your contact list. Take these prospects, add them to your contact list, communicate with your list, email weekly via, at the minimum, the email that I send out to you every Monday, and call 10 of these prospects a day. It's real simple. That is your standard recipe for success. I'll say it again. If you're witnessing a time where you're in a down cycle, it's because, unfortunately, most of your customers are in that down cycle. the goal here is to diversify your contact list. Diversify your contact list. You've heard people say on TV, diversify your investment portfolio. Well, actually, it's the same thing, because these prospects that you're accumulating are your investment portfolio to a large degree. They're it's what's assisting you in increasing your investment in this industry. Let me go ahead and mute everybody. Wonderful. So in a way, this is getting your 3 contacts a day are an investment in, well, it's increasing the investment that you have in this profession of moving freight. So I'll say it again, every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, obtain 3 new emails per day, 15 per week. Add them to your contact list at the minimum. Send out my weekly email that I send you every single Monday, and call 10 of these per day. If you want to call less, you can. But my point is, do something. Do something. What's going to happen when you do that? You're going to have more loads moving. It's that simple. Let's X out of there. Go into the next one. Now, my next one, as you've seen, is called my recipe for failure. Unfortunately, you're right, a lot of us right now, I won't count myself in this, but a lot of us are failing. I wouldn't say we're failing. We're not moving loads that we'd like to, but here's the reason why. It's because you are not obtaining those 3 new emails a day. You're not getting any new customers regularly, and you're not building your contact list. Here's what's happening when you don't do this. You coast and rest on what you have. You only service your current customers. You believe that your customers are going to remain loyal, which, believe me, 100% of them over the course of time will not. You don't call your remaining contact list, and you don't send my weekly email, again, at the minimum. I keep saying that email is at the minimum. If you really desire to bring in more business, you will get on the phone and call these folks. Call your prospects. A call trumps an email any time of the day, week, month, or year. So if you don't do any of this stuff, guys, here's what's going to happen. You're going to have few or no loads moving. You're not going to have any growth. Your bills are going to pile up. It's that simple. That is my recipe for failure. If your goal is to fail, follow this plan. If you follow this plan, believe me, you will not last on our team very long. So you have a choice. Follow the recipe for success. Follow the recipe for failure. For failure. It's your choice. I would venture to say that starting tomorrow, you're going to start getting on the phone and following the recipe for success. Okay, let's X out of there. Let's move into our topic today, which is, are you asking the right questions? Now, obviously, this means, are you asking the right questions to your prospects and your customers? But let's get into this a little bit. Are you asking the right questions? Before I even get into asking questions, let's go ahead and tap open attachment number 4. One of the most basic covenants to go into a call is this. Remember, when you're talking to any new prospect or even a current prospect, current customer, your conversation is never, ever, ever about you. It is not about you. It's about them, meaning your prospect, your customer. It's about them. It's about their company. It's about their challenges, because their challenges are going to bring you new business. So if you focus on their challenges, you focus on their needs, and you focus on their email contact info and the solution that you provide, that is when you'll garner success. Focus on them, focus on their company, focus on their challenges, their needs, their email, contact info, and your solutions. Guys, you know, typically, for those of you that have been moving a lot of freight, we typically get into a customer when we solve a problem. They typically let us into their realm when they have a problem. When they don't have a problem, there's no reason for us to let us in. Things are going along great. Why should I bring in another freight agent when, hey, my loads are getting picked up? It's when they're not getting picked up. It's when their items or commodities are sitting in their warehouse. It's when they're sitting there that we come into the picture and we solve their problem for them. Believe me, think about it. Think of how many people that have solved problems for you and that you still either speak to them, you hang out with them. In this industry, in this profession, we are problem solvers above all. Again, it's not about us. It's about them, their company, their challenges, their needs, their email info, and above all, your solution. Let's go ahead and X out of there and X into number 5, attachment number 5. Now, why must we ask great questions? Let me say it again. Why must we ask great questions? Number 1, it shows our interest in them. Whenever we go into a call, whether it be a new call, boy, if anything, show interest in your prospect, show interest in your customer. I'll say it again, the call is not about you. So when you show interest, let's face it, think of the media that's out there now. 90% of what they report is drama and chaos. It's negative. It's not positive. So when we show interest in somebody, typically they're going to share their drama and chaos with us, especially if they've got loads that they're not moving. So when you show your interest, they'll be more than happy to share their situations, their problems, their drama and their chaos with you. And when that happens, you are going to uncover their pain. Now, if they're not having any pain, if they're not going through any pain, there's a probability that they're not going to expose it to you. However, when you show your interest from the get-go, your prospects know when pain arises. They know times of the year when pain arises, like around this time when trucks are busy doing loads for another industry and not theirs. So that's why you ask great questions, because you're showing you're interested in them and you're uncovering their pain. Really, that's the main goal, to uncover their pain, because it's their pain, their negative, that's going to turn a positive into you. It's going to allow you to post their loads on the board and get rates and talk to drivers and get rates back to them. So it shows your interest. It uncovers their pain. Let's move on to the number 6. This attachment goes hand in hand with the one I just went over. Remember, when you're calling prospects and customers, don't sell. Even though we're sales professionals, it's not really our profession. We are in the profession of solving problems. The problem is our customers, prospects have a load to move. That is an issue. Sometimes it's a problem, but if it's not a problem, it's an issue. Well, what are we going to do? We're going to solve their problem, solve their issue by getting it moved. That's why they will come to you more and more and more, because you will solve more and more of their problems. It's that simple. It's action, reaction. Solve problems, get more loads. How do you solve more problems? By taking an interest in the loads that they're moving, getting them posted on the load board. Even if it's a challenging lane, boy, I can't count how many loads that I have covered that I knew were challenging. I didn't want to post them, but I posted them anyway, and carriers called me, and I covered the load for my customer or prospect. I'll say it again. That's how we typically get into and develop that beginning relationship with a customer, with our prospect. We solve their problems. We solve their issue. We solve their drama, their chaos. How many times do I have to say it? That's how we typically get into a new customer. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to our main topic of conversation today, and that's the last attachment that I sent out to you. And we're going to go over 15 of the best questions to ask that will move us more freight. Let me rephrase that again. Are you asking the right questions? Well, these are the questions to ask, the 15 must-ask questions that will assist us in moving more freight. You're going to ask these questions to your shipping decision makers for the main purpose of building or starting to build that relationship with them. And here's the thing. Every single question that you're going to ask, it's all about them. None of it is about you. None of it is about your company. It's all about them. So what's the first question to ask? Tell me about your business. Now, you better have Googled this company before you called them. However, you're going to ask that as an icebreaker. Tell me about your business. All you can do is wait to see what they say. When they start telling you about their business, join in from that one-page Google report that you printed out on their business. Again, your goal is to stay on the phone as long as possible to build that relationship with them. When that first question is run out, move on to the next one. What are your main responsibilities? The main responsibility that you want to hear is, I am the shipping manager here. I'm the shipping decision maker here. I'm in charge of freight here. That's the one thing you're looking for. Now, if they say, I'm director of purchasing, you've pretty much disqualified them. Okay, that's wonderful. Hey, who is your shipping decision maker? That's who your goal is to be talking to, the shipping decision maker. And provided you are talking to the shipping decision makers, listen to what their responsibilities are. Number 3, who else besides you makes your shipping decisions? Why do I ask this? Because your goal is to be talking to the main shipping decision maker. You don't want to be talking to the assistant. You want to be talking to the gentleman or the lady that actually makes the decision on which trucks to move, flatbed, dry van, reefer, to move their freight. Question number 4, what's your biggest challenge shipping your whatever it is? Whatever it is. And hey, have a pencil, piece of paper to write this down. What's your biggest challenge shipping your whatever it is? Your corn, your sheep, your frozen food. What's your biggest challenge? Because that's what you're going to have as you post the loads for these folks. Next one, what happens when blank happens? You could say whatever it is, fill in the blank. What happens when blank happens? Again, your goal is to find out what their challenges, what their drama, what their chaos is, so you can solve the problem when it arises. What happens when blank happens? Next one, what are your main priorities while moving your freight? What are your main priorities? Could be anything. Well, my main priority is when I send my load list out that morning, my main priority is to get every single load covered by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's just an example. Write it down. What are your main priorities while moving your freight? Next one, what qualities do you look for in a great freight agent? What qualities do you look for in a great freight agent? We are not average freight agents here. We are great freight agents here. I train people to be great freight agents. So what qualities do you look for in a great freight agent? See what they say. The answers could be anything. But again, your goal is to ask the questions and find out what they're looking for. These questions are great because they allow you to get into your prospect's mind, and it also shows you what they're looking for in a freight agent. Next one. What do you like most about your current freight agent? What do you like most about your current freight agent? Again, this is somebody, again, you're curious about this because if they like them, your goal is to at least come up with the potential that their current freight agent has. It's also showing that you have class. You're acknowledging that there are other people that are moving their freight and that you're competing with. So What do you like most about your current freight agent? Next one, what would you change about your current freight agent? If they say, I wish he would get his rates to me quicker, well, gee, there you go. Write that down and get your rates to them quicker. Just an example. Next one, do you keep your options open for new freight agents? That is the main question one of the main questions you're looking for. Do you keep your options open for new freight agents? Obviously, your goal is to hear a yes. What's your criteria for bringing in a new freight agent? Again, some may have criteria, some don't. I'll bet you any money, but to move their first load, the criteria is you solve their problem when the problem arises, because if nothing's going on, they're going to be happy with the status quo. We love to stay in our comfort zone, and we hate it when we have to get out of it. But when you go in there with your solutions, you're basically forcing them out of their comfort zone and to listen to you and how you will solve their problem for it. So what's your criteria for bringing in a new freight agent? Next one, how do you measure success with your current freight agents? How do you measure success? Obviously, one way of measuring success is that the freight agent gets their load picked up, in transit, and delivered. That'd be a great criteria for measuring success. Next one, how would I win your Freight Agent of the Year award? How would I win your Freight Agent of the Year award? See what they say. They're probably going to be dumbfounded. Well, I don't have a Freight Agent of the Year award. Well, if you did, how would I win it? What do I have to do? What do I have to accomplish to earn that award with you? See what they say. Write this down when they give you the answer. What freight loads or lanes are you shipping right now? Excellent question. What freight loads or lanes are you shipping right now? Obviously, you're going to write this down. Hey, can I get your rate on that? Next one, what's your email address so I can send you my rates? That's a question that you must ask every time you talk to a new prospect. What's your email address so I can send you my rates? You're going to ask that last because prior to it, you're going to show your prospect how interested you are in them before you really get to the nitty-gritty, which is what is their contact info. Let's go ahead and move to that second page there. And that is, remember these issues, remember these points while you're asking. 1, nothing in life is perfect. Press as much as you possibly can. Hey, if this guy doesn't want to talk to you, at least you're giving the effort, but press as much as you possibly can. And again, if they're not giving in to you, don't call me and say, Ted, this happened. Just realize that nothing in life is perfect. Press as much as you possibly can. Number 2, do a Google search on the company before you call it. This is something that I've gone over many times. Do a Google search on the company before you call it so you have their information in front of you when you call. Confirm you're speaking to the shipping decision maker. Number 3. Number 4, listening while searching for clues is your main priority. Again, listening while searching for clues is your main priority. Number 5, people love to talk about themselves once they feel comfortable with you. Number 6, have an idea of questions you're going to ask in advance. How would I put it? My expectation is that I'm not going to be able to ask this guy all 15 questions. If you do, you're going to be on the phone for about an hour. But have in mind an idea of what questions you're going to ask. Again, you got 15 to choose from, with the last one as your main one. So have an idea of the questions you're going to ask in advance. Next one, what questions work the best? And the answer is open-ended. Ask questions that are not just yes and no. Ask questions where they have to give you an explanation about something. That's called an open-ended question. Next one, don't prejudge. When you prejudge your prospects, you will misjudge. I say that because I am a main culprit in doing this. Unfortunately, that's one of the ways how I was created. Unfortunately, I prejudge when I talk to a lot of people. I'm telling you, don't do what I do. You'll be more successful. Don't prejudge. When you prejudge, you will misjudge. I will say this, though. It's a habit that I'm slowly getting rid of. Next one, take good notes on your sales call information sheet. You all know what that is. It's a document that I went over with you when you first started your training. Take good notes on your sales call information sheet. 1 second, guys. Next one, never badmouth or be negative about your competition. When you don't do that, it shows that you have total class. Don't badmouth any other freight brokers. Don't badmouth any other freight agents. That shows class. Next one, showing interest in the competition shows that you have class. So, next one, repeat back to your prospects what you heard them say. Why? Because you want to make sure that you're writing down, whatever you're writing down, it's accurate information. So, when this individual has a dilemma, is going through drama and chaos, you can go back to your notes and say, oh, yeah, he has a challenge on this load from Terre Haute to Evansville, whatever it may be. So repeat back to your prospects what you heard them say. Next one, in sales, your attitude is everything about everything. If you have a lousy attitude going into a call, guys, they will pick up on it in a microsecond. So, and if you think you have a bad attitude and they're going to, give in to your questions, it's not going to happen. Think if you would. Think of all these telemarketers that call you. I mean, my guideline is if somebody doesn't talk in a second, I hang up on them. I even do that with freight with dispatchers. If I get on the phone and there's a second gap, I just hang up on them. The last thing I'm going to do is force people to talk to me. So if they really want the information that bad, they'll call up and then they'll be ready. So your attitude is everything about everything. In sales, the last one, don't be boring like the next guy. Be different. Be different. Show class. Show interest. Ask open-ended questions. This is all about being different. I'm showing you through these calls how to be different. If you ask any other freight agent, if he got on conference calls like this, 95% of them would say absolutely not. So this is a way of being different. You're learning from an expert who's giving you the information to be successful by being different.
You've just taken a tremendous step forward by watching and applying my Tuesday conference call highlight. Do you desire to learn and earn with our top freight team and Christian-based office? Yes? We're searching for a self-starter who's serious, motivated, and ready to take action now. Is that you? Go to tedkeysonline.com/contacts and enter your contact details right now. We provide top-notch freight agent sales training to you. Then you provide those same skills with confidence to the freight industry marketplace. I'll talk to you soon.